This episode is brought to you by Indie Film Hustle Academy, where filmmakers and screenwriters go to learn from top Hollywood industry professionals. Learn more at ifhacademy.com. The thing I've always loved about your filmmaking in general is that it has a very specific energy. There is a kinetic energy to your films, some more, some less. So The Gray has a different kind of that energy. But then I think the ultimate expression, and please correct me, the ultimate expression of the Carnahan kinetic energy is Smoking Aces. Like, it is this...
I think it was until Boss Level.
No, I was going to say Boss Level, Boss Level... It looks very, it has that thing, but the colors, the amazing, ridiculous cast you had, Smoking Aces, the kinetic energy. I was remembering, like, when I saw it in the theater, it was just like, I felt abused after I finished watching it. Like, I felt physically assaulted by the visuals of it. It was visceral, and it was so visceral. Like, they launched with at least another 2 sequels, right?
Yeah.
It just kept
Universal.
It did so well.
Buddy PJ Pesh directed one of them. Yeah, it was one of those, again, dude. It was one of those. I think it was born out of my frustration about Mission Impossible 3 and this idea that I wanted to do something that was just kind of almost like it's a mad world, right? This kind of kind of zany, over the top kind of assault on a penthouse with this kind of and this weird magician kind of illusionist at the center of it. And this idea of these overlapping stories that were just kind of again, my kind of sense of humor and my sense of irony and my sense of the sardonic and all that weird shit. And it was also, dude, one of those movies. I always felt that it was the outgoing regime at Universal, kind of their hand grenade in the incoming regime, because it was working title. So I had the imprimatur of of Eric Fellner and Tim Bevan, and that they're really kind of high end, very British, very studied, very kind of wonderful filmography that they had put together, and so they couldn't really say no. But the idea that you could do that movie now, Alex, that you could have the main character, or not even the main character by default because everybody else is dead, unplug everything in this kind of nihilistic, and it's funny, it's like. The movie that I'm doing right now, Cop Shop, I say it's absolute first cousin of Smoking Aces, but it's not nihilistic. It actually has this great heart at its core. And it's probably just me getting older and softer and not needing to kind of do the So you would never make that film now in a traditional studio ever, dude. They would never let you get away with that. So I always thought that we got one over on everybody because it was such a downer ending. More or less. It wasn't it wasn't this uplifting kind of like the guy just fucking unplugs everything and sits there and, disarms himself and throws his FBI credentials on the ground. That's that. It's like, and they let it go. It never happened now, dude. Ever.
Well, Smoking Aces would never get made today. Like you just.
What's crazy? Of all the movies I've made, the one that's been the bonanza in residuals is Smoking Aces. Hands down, dude. I've made more money after the fact on that movie than any other film, the A-Team, any of them. Like, that movie is so weirdly, and I get friends of mine going, dude, every time that fucking thing's on, I watch it. And I have movies like that. Like, I don't care where Jaws is, where Heat is, where, Road Warrior, where Aliens, I'm watching. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm in. Whatever it is, I'm in. And Predator, it's like, I've got, oh shit, man. Oh, they're gonna kill Billy, Sonny. It's like he's dead. Like, I'm in there. So it's one of those, the kind of the repeatability and the playability, I think, is always something that I dug. And visually, I think Morrow really was edgy in the way that he shot that thing. And to this day, I look at it and go, man, that thing looks like it was shot last week. And that's the great that it has a timeless quality to it. I love.
And the cut
doesn't feel dated at all.
And the cut was insane. The cut was beautifully done.
Right. So again. It's just one of those movies, dude, that and it was also misunderstood, dude. Same thing. It was like that movie was really for me about the war in Iraq. It was this kind of maniacal, insane levels of violence being leveled toward forces that we weren't quite weapons of mass destruction. Who we fighting? Wait a minute. These guys weren't behind
9/11.
9/11 these guys were. Oh no, they weren't. We went in Afghanistan. So it was this nutty kind. And then at the end, the government decided, well, we cut a better deal and fuck you. And that's really what it was about. And I just think it was like, oh, it's just fucking crazy. But it's again, I'll never forget. David Denby wrote the most awful review of the film, but it was so entertaining. I love the review. It was such. If you're gonna get trashed by a really good writer. Get trashed by a really good critic, not like Willy Waffle. Get trashed by Anthony Lane or you know what I mean, A.O. Scott, or get trashed by a really good writer. But it was, and again, I just think to this day, dude, there's so many fans of that movie after the fact because it's just going around. And it's weird. It just plays, you know?